Welcome to the Album Anniversary Podcast. Today's show is about love and war and the sea in between by Josh Garles. It was released, what's this? June 15th and July 15th of 2011? Man, this show's going to be problematic. And it is celebrating a 15-year anniversary. I'm your host, Caleb, or Caleb the Spy, on a lot of social media sites, and every day on those social media sites I post about album anniversaries, kind of. Sometimes it's just one big group post. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. I think my online life is dying. I don't know. It's getting harder and harder to be online, but it's that's a whole other topic. This show is already off the rails, and we're like a minute in. So, on the Album Anniversary Podcast, we take a look at a classic album, an album we love, or an album that's important to us. I want to introduce my two returning guests. First off, we'll say hi to Jeremy. Jeremy, welcome back to the show.
Hey, thanks so much, Caleb. Glad to be back.
Awesome. Glad to have you back. And then, Brock, I think you still are in the lead for most times on the show. You got called up by an artist recently on the show. I mean, so you should just take over.
Thanks. If I wasn't at the bottom of this well, I would totally do so.
Oh, we'll get you out someday, buddy. Oh, man. We're talking about love and war and the sea in between. I can't say that without it coming off all wonky. All right, so Brock, I'll give you a little heads up. What do you have for a release date on this? I didn't give you much of a heads up because I have kind of two. I see June 15th and July 15th of 2011. What do you have in your calendar? Sorry, no.
Let me double check real quick. That's no. It's the thing is that you can edit this, right? You can edit this out if there's a significant pause. But I may also be able to narrate my process in an interesting way. I've got June 15th. That's what I have on mine.
So
that doesn't mean it's right. That's just what I have.
I think it's possible it's kind of both days, right? Mm-hmm. Because if you go to Jesus Freak Hideout, they have July 15th. But then they reference it coming out in June. Everywhere I see June 15th, but then I do see places that say July 15th. And I wonder if it's the nature in which he released this, which we'll get to in a little bit. Because it's kind of a bit of the legacy. So anyway, a little controversy out there. We'll talk about it more about the release date. So it's one of those dates, June 15th or July 15th. I don't know. This was his sixth release. Which we'll get to it later about how familiar people were with other releases, but sixth release, and this was not on label, and then also on Small Voice. So those are the two record labels I see attached to this, not on label, and then there's another one called Small Voice. I think those are all primarily his record labels, to be totally honest.
I was going to say, I think that basically that's his house.
Exactly. Yeah, and which leads well into this. This is self-produced, and honestly, I think almost everything he has done has been self-produced, but there are some additional producer credits on this. Michelle, his wife, gets some credit on this. She's credited as also producing this, and then tracks 1, 8, and 12 are also produced by the Mason Jar Music. That's all it says, Mason Jar Music. And as far as I know, I think they're a bit of like a collective, like a music collective, and they perform on this. And then he also gave them some production credit as well. So a number of producers on this, but I think they're primarily the Garles and then this Mason Jar Music group.
I think the Mason Jar group, I think you're right. I think it's like a collective of various artists, because I think shortly after this album, he did like a live version like with them. So it had a little bit different texture to it, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I couldn't remember. Like it was the opposite coast. They're a Brooklyn-based collective, as I
Oh,
recall, and
really?
so it was. Let's see here. What I've got is that they did a Manhattan performance. It looks like,
Hmm.
and that was one of the places they worked together on the album. They show up as what recorded and produced with, so kind of a collaboration. So they kind of guest on the album proper.
Yeah. And because he's a Portland guy, right?
Yeah,
Like, I think he might
he
be in
was
Nashville
in Portland
now,
at the
but
time. Yeah, but he
yeah.
was from the Midwest before, and then he
Hmm.
moved back to the Midwest after. So
Okay.
at the time he was a Portland artist. Yeah, and I think probably taking advantage of the wave that Portland was riding culturally in terms of what was happening and his sound, kind of the folksy and I feel like it's absolutely unfair to call it twee. I don't think that's accurate at all. But what's a better word for that?
What is twee? I've never even heard of this.
I need to be in the know, Brock. What is this
What's
twee you speak
twee?
of?
Oh,
I've not heard this.
geez, what? My brain isn't working for me to recall who's the film producer, like the fabulous Mr. Fox, like
Oh, Wes
Fantastic
Anderson,
Mr. Fox, Wes
my
Anderson,
favorite
Wes
director ever.
Anderson.
Yeah.
Yes. That I think twee is often used maybe derisively, which is why I'm not using it about Garrels. I think it's the idea that things are maybe overly precious, perhaps, or something like that.
Oh.
So I think if there's a more positive way to express that things were folksy and kind of organic, and the string sections and the kind of the nature of his voice and delivery, like I think that makes sense, anyways. That was happening in Portland at that time.
Okay.
It was the musical equivalent of putting a bird on it.
Is
That's awesome.
Sufjan was that another person who would get lumped into that group?
I think you could make the argument that was the
Okay.
case, and people who love Sufjan will say that's a horrible thing to say.
Okay.
But yes, I think that's like the cultural grouping and associations. Like Portland was probably a good place to be listening to Sufjan as well.
Okay.
The
Man,
Brooklyn of the Northwest.
the Brooklyn of the Northwest. I wonder how
Yeah.
Nice.
Portland people feel about that.
That
I
sounds like a
mean,
T-shirt right there.
Stumptown Coffee started in Portland and then relocated when it was absorbed and expanded to Brooklyn, and so I've always held that against them. Have I mentioned I'm a snob in many ways?
It's really coming out on this episode.
It's all coming out right here as I
You-
defend Josh Garrels, but I
You-
tear down everything about Portland and Brooklyn simultaneously.
That is
I hope they
awesome.
both burn.
You're both calling from Central Time. You can agree.
Yeah, I think
Uh,
they're. I've never been to either. They both sound great. I don't know. I'm not well traveled. Gosh,
The beans are all grown like in South America, so you know.
that's right. We don't have any. We claim the coffee we didn't grow exactly.
Mhm.
So I should have this fact in the after the sixth album because what I thought was really interesting is this is his fourth album in 5 years when this comes out. So he's on a roll. He's just kind of producing tons of tons of records. There's like a little break before his first one and his second one, and then he just rolls out like again 4 albums in 5 years. So he was an up and coming artist at the time, and he was just pumping out the music.
That's ambitious. I know I was introduced to him, I think, probably in 2009,
Okay.
thereabouts. Like I went to visit a friend. He was like, "You heard this Josh Garrels guy?" And I had not. And I listened and I was like, "Oh, this is cool." Because is it Jacaranda? Is that how you say it?
Oh,
Man,
I
I
always, I
haven't.
always assumed that I was supposed to say Jacaranda, but I wasn't sure if that was correct or not. And it could be that is correct, but it's kind of like like not
Your
Flagstaff.
guess, yeah,
is it more
your
tweet?
guess is totally as good as me.
I'm not the person to ask about any pronunciations. In fact, I think I'm pronouncing his name wrong because I've always said Garls, but you're not saying. Well, how are you saying it, Brock?
I've heard Garrels, and I think
Garrels?
that's how it's said, but who
Okay.
knows?
Sorry,
It's got
Josh.
two
Think it's
R's,
that.
so I can understand.
I think it's Garrels. I've always said it that way, and I saw him one time perform, and I'm pretty sure that's the pronunciation.
I'm gonna mess it up the rest of the show. Sorry, Josh. I
It's all
apologize.
good.
It's all good.
We
I'm a
apologize.
failure
We accept the apology on his
on
behalf.
his behalf. This
Josh G. That's it.
Josh G. Yeah,
Josh G.
we'll go by Josh G. The
That's
rest of the
it.
show. I don't like that. That's
That's
not
kidding.
twee. I'm gonna make the twee joke the rest of this stupid episode. Golly, I need to stop. Christianity Today would name it their album of 2011. So from, I think a little more independent to all of a sudden being kind of thrust into the spotlight, and this being a fairly big deal. Then the only other real the only other real fact that I have for this is that this is his breakout album in a lot of ways. It's categorized that, and one of the real huge parts about it is the fact that he gave it away for free for a long period of time. So this is from an NPR article I found in 2013. So he gave away his breakout album, Love and War and the Sea in Between, for free for a year. In all, he says he's given away 153,000 downloads of it. What's more is he dedicated a portion of the income that he does receive to charities such as World Relief in the Democratic Republic of Congo. So that is, I think, a legacy of this record in particular, but all of his stuff, because you can still go to Bandcamp to this day and get every last thing he's put out for free digitally.
Yeah. Isn't that great?
Yeah, I think it's great. And I'm assuming we'll get to it like our introductions, but I'm assuming some of us might have found it that way as well. And a certain website might come up. And I just have to call it out. To me, it's kind of cool. It living in the shadows or in the footsteps of Keith Green and maybe somebody else too, but let's focus on Keith Green as somebody who gave away all of his music for free. And Carmen, there you go. Shout out Carmen.
I don't think
we'll
Carmen
give you credit
gave
for
away
that.
his albums, did he?
Yeah, you're right. It was just shows. It
was free shows.
More shows, love
Yeah.
offerings.
You're right.
But there was a pretty healthy guilt offering. Is that fair at the Carmen shows?
I don't know. I never saw him live.
Yeah, neither
Despite
did I.
what Scott says.
Just
So,
what I've heard.
Once. No, twice. Yeah.
Yeah. But
yes.
Garrels gives it away. And one of the things that's interesting to me, what I found when I was doing a little research, was that they even were able to put a down payment on a house in Portland, which that's saying something. Just knowing I wasn't able to buy a house in Portland.
Right.
I didn't give away enough records.
Yeah. And I think it is something that stands out. It's something that makes this feel special, even though a lot of people probably didn't pay for it. At the time, I was pretty dirt poor, so to get a record like this for free was it was kind of cool. We'll talk about it in a bit because I think it's going to come up. But where we may have gotten it from, but I don't know. It's a big deal to me still to this day, and I love that he does it still. I mean, I know he's talked about. I saw one other article that says his goal is to always give all of his records away for at least a year. But then again, I'm looking at his Bandcamp now, and everything's there for free if you want it.
To tag back up on the date again, I just noticed because I'm on Bandcamp is that they have it posted as June 15th, 2011 as well.
Yeah.
If it helps further the cause.
I'm going with June 15th and July 15th because I just don't know. I think it is June 15th. That's what I feel. But the fact that Jesus Freak Hideout has July 15th has me at least hesitant. But I don't know.
Here's a question. Does Jesus Freak Hideout is that a review or a listing at the date of release? Did they write that when it came out?
It was in August of 2011. Okay. So.
Oh, interesting. So that's close enough to the source. Yeah.
Yeah.
We got to ask DiBiase and see what he says.
The other thing that because Brock, I think you had a physical copy of it. I think one of you did. There is the B-sides and remixes that they did.
Yes.
So it was the Love and War B-sides and remixes where they they redid a bunch of different songs. And then I'm trying to think what else stood. Oh, Beautiful Eulogy was the one that I thought was really cool. Although they did a number of songs. So, and do both of you guys have that one as well?
I had it digitally. Yeah. For a long time.
I know I have at least digital, but Brock apparently has the physical there. So I just can't remember if I have a physical or not.
Here it is.
Yeah, I think I might. I just didn't see it.
The B-sides collection was cool because it's got a couple, and I think a few of those maybe made it onto the vinyl too.
Yeah,
but
two of them did.
Yeah. hang on, I'll turn the record over and see.
How
Run
long
is
is
one
the
of them.
vinyl? How many discs is the vinyl? Like 7?
It's a 2 LP.
No, there's 2.
It's a long record.
It's a fair question.
It comes in a box with all 45s. That's it.
Have you seen albums that are released that way? It's such a funny idea to me that you're gonna turn the record over. Like you're gonna change records 5 times, you're gonna turn it over 5 times. Yeah.
It's
I
like
can't
a
do
wedding cake of 45s.
Yeah, well, it's Cake. What are their 2011 album? I forget what it's called. I have it, and I haven't opened it because, like, who has time to turn those records over that many times?
There you go.
Oh my god.
There you go.
I was going to say that the song Run was cool. I feel like it maybe thematically didn't fit as well with the rest of the record. Maybe that's why it's a B-side, but it was inspired by Eric Liddell, the subject of the movie Chariots of Fire. I grew up as a big fan of the theme of Chariots of Fire, and eventually watched the movie. I was very disappointed. It wasn't as cool as the song was, but the story of Liddell, it was cool to have that kind of contextualize into a Garrels song because I felt like it was a cool new treatment. I felt like it was fresh and it got to the heart of like even if I think it's okay to run on Sunday, the bigger idea of like Little's like, hey, when I run, I feel God's pleasure, and the idea that like this is something I do because like I can feel the intrinsic good in it, and I think the song conveys that.
Yeah, full disclosure, I have not listened to it enough. I remember getting it at one point and just being like, oh, this is really cool. And then I have not gone back to it as much as I probably should have. So, yeah.
It's all good.
Farther along the way, know all about it. Farther along the way, understand why. So cheer up, my brothers, live in the sunshine. We'll understand this all by and by.
How did you first discover this album?
So I used to frequent noisetrade.com
There you
quite
go.
often.
Noise Trade.
And,
Shout out Noise Trade.
Noise Trade, long defunct, kind of sad. But at the time, you'd have a lot of artists either giving away like partial albums, like 2 or 3 songs, or sometimes the whole thing, or sometimes just maybe a compilation or whatever. But I think whenever it showed up on Noise Trade, I looked at my downloads because that's how I first got it, was just digitally. Everybody was talking about it. I'm like, oh, let me go see what it is. And I fell in love with it. Like first listen, it was like, where has this dude been? Because it was just, I loved the sound. It was just so unique. Man, it just hit me really hard. And that was probably early 2012. My download says I put it in my drive in February of 2012. So I'm assuming it came out around there on Noise Trade, I guess. I don't think if he was giving it elsewhere, like Bandcamp or his own website, I probably didn't know about it. Pretty sure I got it off Noise Trade. But yeah, that's how I first hit it and fell in love with it.
Yeah. So I'm going to jump in and do mine because mine is Noise Trade as well. And I do think it was fairly early on. I think it might have been in June that he was giving it away. And I remember the way I heard about it was Derek Webb. Because I think Derek Webb was so excited to have it on Noise Trade that he tweeted about it. And I was like, oh, I'll go check this out. And like, so I could be wrong, but I do feel like that's where I heard it. And it was an album I listened to, I want to say like weekly for most of the first year of its existence. I mean, I was really taken with this record. And I would say, because I feel very confident of this, the 2 best records I ever got off of Noise Trade is this one and then Jeremy Casillas' Recovery. That is the other one. Those are by far and away the 2 greatest steals I ever got on Noise Trade, because I didn't pay for them because I didn't have a whole ton of extra money. And I was so excited to get those records because they're both absolutely fantastic. So my introduction is Noise Trade as well. And that was where I picked it up originally.
I out of curiosity, because I don't throw away enough emails, I looked, and my first mention of Josh Garrels is on June 16th the day after we think
There
it
you
came
go.
out from Noise Trade.
There you go. So I think it was June 15th. I think we have definitively answered that question.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Awesome. And Brock, you mentioned 2009, so I don't think this is necessarily your introduction. So what is your introduction to this record and Josh in general?
Yeah, no, a friend of mine that I grew up with, we kind of came up doing music together. His dad was my youth pastor back in the day. We're really good friends, and he and I always kind of traded music back and forth. And he was the one that I was visiting him, I think, for his birthday or something, and it was like, hey, have you ever heard this guy, Josh Garrels? He's really cool. And I was like, no, I haven't heard him. And thereafter, I knew him better. It was really, I think, to me, it was cool because he had. I think there was a treatment of a hymn on maybe his second record or something. And gosh, I don't even remember. I should have been prepared on this. I don't remember which one it was, but it was like, the combination of really slick kind of like hip hop inspired beats and really great vocals and singing, lush instrumentation, and all that kind of, with his, how should we describe his voice? What merits should we give to it? He's got this like syrupy, silky smooth sort of voice that it's expansive. It fills your ears, and I really, it carries a lot of pathos. And so that, from the first listen, I was like, oh, I like this guy. I like listening to him. And I think this is as I was making my way out of describing myself as religious and a big change of beliefs. And so it was interesting to kind of come into this as I was starting to deal with like, oh, well, if I don't really believe this stuff, can I still have this as a soundtrack? And it was, which kind of parallels some other folks' experience with it too. But yeah, so I think I had Garrels in my earbuds over those couple of years. And then I think it was on a second visit to visit that same friend and getting a ride back from somebody else when that person was like, hey, have you ever heard this Garrels song? I was like, no, I haven't heard this one yet. And they played Bread and Wine, and I was like, wow, this is really good. And so that kind of got me into the record, and I think from there, it dripped out into my collection over time. I'm trying to remember. I need to go back and check my dates and see when I acquired the files, but yeah.
Yeah. So you also mentioned you got to see like if it wasn't an album release for this, it was close to it.
Yeah, so I don't know if I was at the actual album release show, if that was concurrent, or if the documentary came out later. I'm not sure. The timeline's all a little funky to me. But what it was I went to the Alberta Rose Theater in Portland in 2012. I found that date. And it was the first screening, at least, of the documentary about the making of the album. So got to see, first of all, the film, and then a live show by Garrels. So
nice. Jeremy, have you ever seen him live?
I saw him twice, I believe. No, once. I know once, definitely.
Okay.
It was down at oh my gosh, the show Fixer Upper with the Gaines, Joanna, and
semi-familiar, but mostly just because of the MXPX reference.
There you go. Yeah, they were on there once. Yes.
Yeah.
But anyway, they're down in Waco. Waco's like an hour and a half from me, so they have a thing down there, and they have like an outside courtyard where their silo type thing is. Anyway, they have a nice area for outdoors concerts, and he was their guest that they brought in one year. Actually, it was him and another couple. I can't remember who they were, but just drawing a blank. But anyway, yeah, I saw him there. And I guess that is it. I thought that I'd seen him a second time, but I guess I have not.
He recently came through the Twin Cities, and I just couldn't make it work. I was not even home. I was with kids, and I was like, oh, do I try and see it? It was also the week before 5 Iron, and so I was like, can I stand 2 weeks? I have really bad feet, so like standing is genuinely difficult for me for long periods of time. And I was like, do I want to hurt my feet the week before 5 Iron? I don't know if I should. And then I looked it up real quick. All Creatures is on Lost Animals, which came out in 2009.
That's probably what I'm thinking of.
That's the from his first 3 records. That's the hymn that jumps out to me. There's some other hymn-esque titles, but that I think that might be that one.
I think you found it.
what is it that we love about this record?
Man, this is it's a whole mood. Is that,
Yeah.
do I sound old when I say that, or do I sound hip with
No,
the
you
kids?
sound hip. You sound hip
There's
in the
a
tweet.
whole, I mean, like it is a sonic landscape that is hard to deny. I think it's intriguing because it's got so much texture, and you've got so with like the organic instruments and the really folksy instruments, and then the kind of samples and hip hop beats and some of the electronic elements. Like, I think it makes a very unique sonic tapestry. I like living in this world. I listened to it again earlier today, and yeah, it had been a while since I'd played it, and it's so easy to listen to the whole thing at once. Just like if you've got the time, if you have somewhere to be, keep your watch near you because it'll draw you in.
Yeah. Yep.
Brock, I don't know how I can follow Brock on that. But that's excellent description, Brock. Yeah, it just the opening White Owl, and it kind of just sucks you in, and you hear various plugging of the strings, and uh, lots of moods. Most of it happy yet deep. And then you have something like the fourth or fifth song in, where you go into like how do you do like country folk Americana rap? I don't understand,
Right.
but it works, and it's not corny at all. It's like, dude, this is legit. But yeah, it's so good. I wish I could say more, but I don't even know how to describe it sometimes.
I do think he blends genres really, really well on here. And I think you're right. It doesn't feel corny. When you make that description, I'm like, there's no way that should really work. But it really does work. He knows how to pull it all together, and his voice fits it. So like there is something incredible about the style of this album. Like, it just is like overwhelmingly unique in his approach to music making. And I think the whole thing works also as an album, which is really cool. Like, I think that's the other thing, is there's a lot of themes that he intertwines in here, but so like this album does so much in a lot of ways. So I do love the style and the uniqueness that comes through on this record.
Yeah, it's fantastic. As an album, like uh I probably could go listen to a song or two here and there, but I don't want
Hmm.
to. I want to listen to the whole
Yeah,
thing.
I
It's
agree.
really I am definitely an album guy, but there's times where I can go hop around. But this one, I just want to literally sit in my armchair and soak it in,
Yeah.
not background music.
See, okay, so I think it can be really good as both. That's the thing that I love about this. This album does a lot, because I think you're right. If you want to really take this album in, it's a great headphones record, because it has the intricate plucking. There was a song that I was listening today, and I was like, oh, I think I knew there was a banjo on there, but I really hear it now that I have my headphones on. That's cool. But then also, like, for me, because of some of the instrumental interludes, this is a great album to have on, like, in the background while you're working, because it's got enough moments where the pace picks up, and there's enough, I don't know, there's enough engaging moments where it's also really good as a background album. So I think it's one of these records that you can do both to, and it absolutely works, because you can have it on while you're doing other things and feel like you can catch the vibe, but then you can go deep on it as well and really soak it in, which I think is really cool.
I was going to make a note on the use of kind of the like rapping and hip hop stuff. Like, I feel like it's all like, it would be easy perhaps to make accusations of appropriation or like disrespect or something like that. And I feel like I don't know the whole picture, but I feel like when those elements show up on this record, I feel like it's respectful, and I feel like it's done in his own voice. I don't think he's like taking anybody else's style. I feel like he's kind of doing a thing that is his own, and yeah, I feel like maybe it's just worth mentioning that, like, I don't find it to be problematic from my perspective. Of course, everyone is entitled to their own opinion, but to me, I feel like it works.
Yeah, I think it works really, really well. Like, he just seems to have, like, again, he's putting it in the right spots. I don't think he's overusing it, but it is like, and it feels uniquely him. Like, I don't even think about it, because I don't feel like it's totally rapping as much as I don't know, maybe it is, but like, Yeah, I don't know. The way he blends it in, I think it just works so well. And I think it works with his voice when he goes to the high falsetto. He's also got this deep thing. I mean, there's just so much going on with his voice alone on this record that it feels like him kind of just showing off. And I don't mean that as like arrogantly, but like showing off all the things he can do.
Yes, showcasing
Word.
his versatility.
Yeah. And I feel like he's done this on all of his records, but I love that it's a big swing. Like, I think, Jeremy, you're right. It is a cohesive album that works together and with all the themes that he winds into it. But like, I love that it is this, like, it's going for this concept-y feel. And I don't know. I like that it's a big swing that then he gave away for free. I mean, like, that's kind of a cool way to approach it.
One thing, and I do not remember if it's around this time frame, but I almost feel like it might be related a little bit to the giving away the free. Is I remember he's mentioned in the past where like we have the year of Jubilee, where after so many years, the Israelite, like the land, would revert back to the prior owners and all this stuff, and you would rest for a year and let the crop fields rest and all. And I want to say he has done something similar to that. And I just think it might have started a little bit with this, like he took like a year almost off, and maybe it was like he promoted it and then took the year off after that. But anyway, it just kind of popped in my head a little bit related.
I think he's not I don't think he's like a go out and tour artist. Like, I know he's doing one recently. Not
really.
And so I think that might be even part of it too. Like, he promotes a record in a different way. I mean, just again, he's such a unique artist in that way. And like, to be totally honest now, because I've recently heard him on the big Christian radio station that I generally don't like, but they have him on there occasionally now on the Christian radio station in the Twin Cities. And I was like, we just have it as our presets because other people in the family might listen to it. And I was flipping to it and I was like, is this a Josh Garles song on KTIS? Okay. All right. I'm willing to listen in for the rest of this song and we'll see what you followed up with, but I'm going to listen for this one for sure. So yeah, which I think is, again, a kind of a testament to how big he's gotten in some places.
That's really encouraging, frankly. I mean, I wish my station would play something like that in Dallas. I mean, we have a huge station here and, it's top 40 worship pretty much, you know, and, I definitely loved more of the 80s, 90s era where that, even if it wasn't maybe rock or indie stuff that we might enjoy more, at least they had a little bit more variety of the CCM. So, but yeah, wow, that's encouraging for you, Caleb. That's cool.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked to hear him on the radio. I was like, "Whoa, this is kind of cool."
It's encouraging.
Yeah,
especially with how much I rip on that radio station. For me to praise it on the podcast, let me tell you, because I can rip into it. It's not good. At least it historically has not been. But there was one other artist too that I recently heard on there, and I was like, okay. I'm encouraged. Yeah, I am. Like, I can't believe they're playing this. So, yeah.
Cool.
Oh, funny. I think I can hear your kids, Brock.
Oh, yes. Okay. I've been trying to selectively mute, but
No, you're all good. You're all good.
That's good.
I'm not worried about it. They can always say hi to the Supertones.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I was just going to mention too the thematic piece because it's love and war and the sea in between and kind of how those things intertwine the themes on the record. One of the things that was interesting to me was he's got an essay in the vinyl version. I'm not sure if this shows up elsewhere or not, but there's a paragraph in this essay and he talks about how he was, when his kids were asleep in Portland, he was watching stacks of World War II documentaries, and he says, intrigued by the conflict and ramifications of what's been called just war, like a justifiable war. And my studies seemed to be enlightening me to a storyline that was becoming more familiar and real in my own life, a storyline which contained a conflict between good and evil with hearts and destinies of real lives at stake, the casualties and tragedies that accompany all warfare being evident all around me. Only the deaths I was witnessing were those of faith, hope, and love in the hearts of men and women. Without these, we're left to do the devil's bidding. And it was really interesting because I remember like hearing that some of the inspiration was like World War II stories, and I feel like there's a bit of lionization that can go with history of like, isn't it great that we're such the good guys that we launched all these bombs and shot all these guns and whatnot. And I felt like he has a more nuanced take in this essay that to me kind of helps explain where his thought process was and was coming from, and I get the sense that he is a tad more progressive than some, and I think that's the thing probably that keeps me on the hook with it, is that he's got a very nuanced understanding of how all these things play out, and ultimately, kind of how does it change your life, and how does it change how you behave in the world with those around you.
Yeah.
Sailing home to you. I won't be long. By the light of moon, I will press on until I find my love.
All right, we're going to talk about some of our favorite tracks. We're going to go in order. We already kind of organized ourselves a little because I'm a really organized show host. So we're going to go through some of these tracks. We're not going to talk about all of them. There are 18 on this, although we're going to talk about quite a few of them. So let's kick us off with White Owl is the opening track. What are our thoughts on White Owl?
The opening of just the guitar and click, I guess, or light percussion, it just pulls you in and almost starts the journey correct on this
Yeah.
album. That's really my main thought on it. It just kind of captures me. It almost, I guess I would say, later on in the album, he talks about Ulysses and maybe Sirens, possibly. This is almost like the Siren song for me. It's like it pulls you in to not, and I can't turn away. It's just great stuff. Just the sound alone. I mean, lyrics are fantastic, but the sound of it alone just really captures me.
We'll get you tied to the mast right at the start.
There you go.
I love that there's like a haunting kind of high pitched thing in the back that it almost makes me like, I feel like you can feel like you're flying with an owl. Like man, I agree. This pulls you in, and like that little click clack percussion, but then this just feels like again, it totally feels like you're flying along with an owl through the night sky. It's amazing. So track 3 is Farther Along, and I'll just to set the kind of the groundwork for this one. This is based on a Southern Baptist song, not a hymn necessarily, but if you Google Farther Along Southern Baptist, you can find other versions on YouTube. So it is like a Southern Baptist song, not hymn, that he kind of reworks for this. So what are our thoughts on the my favorite track on this album? But I'll let you guys go first.
I love the sense of rhythm that this is given. Like, I feel like the track is like it's a fairly mellow song, and I think it's meant to be, right? It's not supposed to be a barn burner, but it's definitely it doesn't stagnate, and it's kind of got that groove that keeps you in with it. So yeah, I appreciate the way it's presented and contextualized, and I feel like there were a lot of people that were taking traditional tunes or older hymns and kind of rewriting them or recontextualizing them into more modern music or different music. And so I think maybe at the time I thought, oh, this is following a trend, but also I appreciate that he gave a lot of his own writing. Like, the verses are his, the chorus is the traditional, and the verses are his, and he's taking a lot of time to probably honor the spirit of the traditional, but also kind of bring it not only into the modern age musically, but also into his own project and make it sit with the project, with the lyrics that he wrote there.
Yeah.
Since I originally heard this digitally and didn't have any, physical copy, I honestly had no idea that any of it was part of something else. I kind of thought it was all written by him. But it sounds like if the verses were primarily him and the chorus is primarily traditional, then that explains a lot. But I do not. It feels like either like you're sitting on the back porch with your family and taking
With a
the
mason
guitar,
With a mason jar.
maybe was it the harp thing, the twang? I don't know. They don't have that in there, but you could rearrange that for whatever the little tongue harp or
Like a mouth harp, yeah.
mouth harp. That's it. I couldn't think of the name of it. Yeah, I don't know. It's just great.
Yeah, it's the first kind of on this record. It's the first one that feels a little like the hip hoppy nature of it, like the beats start coming through, and like I'm in general on this record, I'm much more of a vibe with it. But there are a couple moments. We'll get to one over the other ones, but there are some just great lyrics on this, and I really do like the final verse and then into that chorus where it goes, and one day when the sky rolls back on us, some rejoice and others fuss, because every knee must bow and tongue confess the Son of God is forever blessed. This is the kingdom and we're the guests, so put your voice to the test. Sing Lord come soon. And then it goes into the chorus, which is farther along. We'll know all about it. Farther along, we'll understand why. So cheer up, my brothers. Live in the sunshine. We'll understand this by and by. And like, I can feel that in the sense of like, yeah, there's times where I just don't understand why things are going this way, or why things are so hard, or why there's so much suffering. And I just don't have an answer for it. And the theological answers I've heard, I hear them and I understand them, and they don't make me feel all that better sometimes. And just this song does a good job of kind of being a nice comfort to like, yep, we may not understand this, and maybe we will someday, and I hope we will. I don't know, but so yeah, I really do like the way the song ends, and I think it's a nice emotional climax. There's a couple of songs, and I swear I'll shut up. There are certain songs in life that are like religious experiences in and of themselves to listen to. Like one of my examples is the Talking Heads' "Once in a Lifetime." That song in and of itself is just a religious experience. "Me Without You" has some moments for me that I feel like are just that Gaslight Anthem does and Five Iron does. And I think Farther Along is one of those for me. It's the experience of the song itself is like this like religious moment for me, even if the words aren't religious, even if they are in this case, but there's other songs where they're not. But there's just something that makes me feel like drawn in, and like it is an experience to partake of them. And Farther Along is one of those songs. Again, I listened to this song not every day in 2011 after I got it, but I listened to this album a lot. So much so that my wife can sing along, and she can't sing along to a whole lot of albums that I listen to. And this is one that I put on. She can sing along to almost every song on this because we listened to it a lot that first year.
And she likes it?
Yeah, she really likes it.
Good.
Yeah.
This song has probably the most artful presentation of the theological now and not yet. When people talk about the kingdom of God, is it now? Is it not yet?
Yeah.
And most theologians agree on many things that it is both, and the idea that we're not there yet, but we're moving in that direction, and I like that. Yeah. Also, this is a song that does sound like sunshine.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Caleb, I like your description of one of it being kind of like a spirit, like how would you say it? It's
religious
a spiritual
experience. Yeah.
Religious experience. I love that description. I think I could see that. I don't think I would have thought of that originally. But I do think you mentioned like it almost like brings comfort, or a comforting type song. That probably describes the album for me. It's just it's all, and I would, in being in Texas, and basically Southerner, I would say that it kind of feels like Southern comfort food. It's just, if I could have just a good old Southern comfort dinner and put this album on, that right there be good.
Nice.
Is this where the disclaimer comes in for Jeremy with like the whole, all views expressed do not necessarily represent when we talk about what is and is not the South?
That's what we're going to argue about the South. What is the South?
Yeah.
All right. So the fourth track on this is a Far Off Hope. And we're just going to mention it because there are I think there's 4 instrumentals on here throughout the album. A Far Off Hope. Let's see. Sailor's Waltz is another one. Let's see. No Man's Land, and then The March, and then the last instrumental. There's 5 of them. Processional is the final one, which is the final track. So there are 5 of them. I think just to call them out, I really appreciate them on this album. I actually don't hate instrumental interludes. I think they're kind of fun. And I like them on this record. I think they work well, and they again fit the theme of this record and kind of fit the vibe of the record.
Some of them involve the collaboration with Mason Jar on the record itself. And I think there was a bunch more. Like there was like a separate EP or album that was done with Mason Jar for the movie,
Hmm.
and that has more involvement from them. But yeah, on the record, I think some of them are in, but not all. And I think I was assuming that there was more of them with the strings and whatnot. But yeah, a lot of
Hmm.
people play strings. Some Mason Jar, some not.
And I think one of you guys mentioned like the idea of like them being table setters, and I think that's a good reference point for them. Is sometimes they do sit, I do think they segue well into like the next song or segue out. I think he uses them well to like kind of make the album continue to fit together. So I appreciate them on this record.
Yeah, I enjoy them. It's just it's a nice glue, I guess, to the album, or nice segues between stuff. Yeah, they feel appropriate.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk about track 5 then, The Resistance. Again, more hip hop feel. What are our thoughts on The Resistance?
Saw a reference to Garrels growing up as a hip hop and skate kid, and so like
I've
the
seen
hip
that,
hop
yeah.
stuff does have some context in his life. It would be easy to look at him, see how Portland twee he is, and assume this man knows nothing about hip hop. But he spent a lot of time with it in his younger life.
That's I'd heard similar things, Brock. So I thought it's interesting. But again, I went into this as my first album. Uh, you first take in those first three or four songs, or first three songs, and then the instrumental, and then you transition into this. And I was like, I didn't see it coming, but I love it. Absolutely love it. Uh, his phrasing and delivery, and some of his pronunciation. I don't know if it's some of the ways he does pronounce some words, but some is like to me he's like purposely changed it for the rhyme, which I thought was great. And if I'm wrong, I don't really care. I still love it. And then going from the rap into like uh, more singing part of the chorus, I thought was great. And he's got just a great singing voice, but going back and forth between the two, just fantastic.
Yeah. It feels really epic. And like, when he gets to that singing part where he's like, hold on like an anchor in the storm, like, I don't know. It's really great. And it does work well. Again, I think it works. And like some people might say, oh, it is corny or whatever. I just don't think it is. I think it feels like sincere songwriting, and it's him trying something out. It's him taking a big swing. And I think it just works so well in this song.
Yeah.
Makes it feel epic.
I don't know if I have a favorite lyric from it necessarily, but I do love the ending, where he says, "Hold fast, my people, and sing through peace and through suffering, all for the joy that it brings to be free. It's going to cost us everything to follow our Lord and King. True love endures everything to be free." And then he finishes it with a chorus again: "Hold fast like an anchor in the storm. We will not be moved." But that last verse before he repeats that again, it's just really encouraging for
Mm.
me. Trying to trying to follow Christ, messing
Yeah.
up quite a bit. But it also just reminds me, uh, that this is not our world. If you believe that way, that this is not the end. This is so. Anyway, it's a good
Yeah.
encouragement to me.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot to be said about the ability of metaphor to speak to multiple situations and multiple contexts. And I think I won't get into my own diatribe, but I think particularly the first verse lyrics, talking about all the different things that I think you could draw parallels to what we see happening in our world today, and the idea I'll quote a few lines. "I was born in a system constructed for failure. It's a sinking ship manned by drunken sailors."
Hmm.
Let's see here. See the secret committees commence with their meetings to make red tape in response to simple questions. Questions threaten the perception of the beneficial systems, a pyramid scheme with its cogs and pistons. Mechanization of men making more and more live in a miserable existence. How can so few claim so many victims? And this begs the question. My rest is a weapon against the oppression of man's obsession to control things. Look at the long line of make-believe kings. The Lord of the Flies wants you to kiss his ring. Follow new rules with invisible strings and become a puppet in the diabolical scheme. How do good men become part of the regime? They don't believe in resistance.
Hmm. Yeah.
That was a long
All right,
quote, but I
That
think
was
it's
good.
I think it's worth sharing.
I was almost feeling the rhythm there, Brock. I
Yeah, you
was,
nailed that.
I was trying. I
That was a
listened
good
to it earlier
read.
today.
Yeah, man, that's good stuff.
That the line that stood out to me was that I was listening. I wasn't even really like dialed into the lyrics entirely, but how do good men become part of the regime? They don't believe in resistance, and obviously he's
Hmm.
doing a lot of thinking about World War II and what was happening at that time. And if people are concerned about similar dynamics today, I feel like it has some relevance.
No. Anything else on that one? All right.
I could read you more lyrics.
Let's just read them all. That'll be the podcast. Us just
At a
reading the
certain point,
lyrics.
we get into copyright violations.
I play enough songs.
Let me be clear. Fair use.
I'm already flirting with it.
We're doing analysis and criticism. Yes.
Yeah, I got to fill that form out every time. All right. Track 6 is Slip Away. So he brings it down. There's the high energy of the resistance, and then kind of brings it back down. What are our thoughts on this song?
I think it's interesting to go from something so brash and bold as the resistance and then into something that's a much lower, kind of like almost like a post-traumatic stress reflex of like we've been to the battle and now we're dealing with some of the fallout, And I'm not sure that's necessarily exactly what he's doing lyrically, but he talks a little bit in some interviews about how this song is about witnessing divorces and watching people he loves and cares about fall apart. And some of those relationships can be saved, some cannot. I feel like everyone probably has some experience with people they care about in their own lives. I know I've got several friends that I saw fall apart and they couldn't be rescued. They couldn't make it work together. And there's a loss to that this song I think expresses really well. That but also the idea that I think he's demonstrating in the lyrics that there is a possibility of salvage and a possibility of repair. And the lyrics express some of the contrition that could allow a relationship to stay together.
Awesome. That was well said. Let's jump ahead then to Ulysses. Track 8, we're skipping one of the instrumentals. Ulysses is track 8. What are our thoughts on this song?
He's still tied to the mast.
He got you on the White Owl, and you're still here.
That's right.
Yeah.
I think this is potentially his best vocal performance on the album, and there's a lot of really good ones, but like this is a really, I don't know. He kind of is all over the place. It starts out kind of slow, and I don't know, it just builds, and I don't know. I think that was what stood out on one of my listens of this is just how good his vocals are in this song.
The whole song is fantastic, but the bridge is, I guess, kind of got me. So tie me to the mast of this old ship and point me home before I lose the one I love. Before my chance is gone, I want to hold her in my arms. I just really like that verse. It's just a great metaphor. I kind of want to know more about Ulysses because I don't know Ulysses very well. So maybe I will get some more research eventually.
Isn't there a movie coming out?
I was going to say
Christopher
they're making
Nolan
a movie.
doing.
Yeah, it's going to be like the biggest Odyssey that's ever been.
There you go.
Well, there you go. I'll get caught up then.
I think I have a particular love in my heart for Greek myth in particular because it was what was presented to me in elementary school as like, here's a genre of literature. Some people wrote myths. And I have always loved stories and I've loved what they could do for me, and for everyone, I think to contextualize, it's what science fiction does, right? It's what fantasy does. You take the common experiences and struggles of mankind and put them into new settings so you can examine them differently or maybe think about them differently. And I love the idea that, like, Ulysses, the Odyssey is all about what happens after the war. That they've had the Iliad, they've gone and is it Troy is the name? Is it the that's the movie where that happens?
Right, Helen of Troy. Is that it?
Yeah, was it like Brad Pitt?
Yeah.
A long time ago now. But yeah, the idea that what happens after the war is you go home and you find the people you love, and it's difficult to make your way home. Like that's what the story's all about, And in the case of the myth, there's all the monsters and the dangerous, the perilous times, and of course being tied to the mast so you won't be tempted by the sirens. So I like that this makes its way into this body of work because, one, it's a context that's familiar to me, but two, I think it's like a good metaphor as myth is meant to be. that kind of talks about the themes that he's concerned about and interested in when he wrote these songs and put this album together.
Nailed it again. Other thoughts on Ulysses? It's a pretty song.
Gorgeous.
All right, let's talk about track 9, Beyond the Blue. This is one I definitely wanted to talk about. I think some of the second half of this song has some of the better lyrics. I really like the way it ends. So lift your voice just one more time. If there's any hope, may it be a sign that everything was made to shine, despite what you can see. So take this bread and drink this wine and hide your spirit within the vine, where all things will work by a good design for those who will believe. And I like that. Again, it's a comforting lyric, like, things will work by a good design, even though I struggle with, again, the world I see around me sometimes. But, and I think it's a really clever lyric, the hide your spirit within the vine. I think it's a really clever lyric. So I really like the end of this song.
Totally.
It's a nice, it's a subtle driving song or something. I don't know what to say, but it just kind of, I don't know, prances along. I don't know. It's just, I love it. It's a great sound.
It's a great call out. Like Ulysses is very slow and like he's gone up and down. And then like, this is kind of like a joyful sounding song after Ulysses, which is much more, it's pretty. It's a really, really pretty song, but it's not like joyous sounding either. All right, couple more. Hang with us. Million Miles is the next song we wanted to talk about. Track 11.
Yeah, I mean, I like that we've got like how the relationships can go bad, but we've also got an ode and a sonnet to kind of, not that everything goes perfectly when you're partnered, but that this is about him and his wife, presumably, and they're making the voyage together. If the Odyssey is about, gosh, what's his name? Sorry.
Troy.
Ulysses to get home to his wife. If that's what that one's about, this would be presumably Ulysses gets home and then he and his wife keep on going and they keep on having. I don't know. I think maybe the homecoming is not. I'm not sure if the metaphor bridges the way I want it to here, but. I mean, this also speaks to me and my experience. Me and my wife have a lot of adventures together, and that's kind of how we've framed our lives. So we can do the things we like, and we can keep on going. And so the idea that we're just going to keep on doing this together, I like that. I appreciate that. And then I guess it's his dad who plays the trumpet on this.
Oh, nice.
Which is a cool family connection as well. The idea that maybe that your family is with you for a long time too, with you for the long haul.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a sweet little love song, and I love the horns at the end. It makes it feel rich and full. So I don't know. I think you don't get that sound any other place on the record, so it just feels so good on this spot. It's a nice touch in my opinion.
And this has a really entrancing beat too. I feel like it's a bit more of a like tonally positive song, like it's a more major key sort of situation, and it's groovy, and I like it.
Yeah. Awesome. We're going to jump down to track 16, and I'm going to mess up the name of it again. Oh man, why can't I say this word? Revelator? I want to say realtor. That's definitely
John the Revelator.
The Revelator.
About the city of God. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Brock, what are your thoughts on that?
I only know because the gospel quartets taught me, but
oh.
Pretty sure that's an old a cappella song. John the Revelator, talking about the city of God.
I've never heard that word in my life, and this is one of those things where
use. It's not like we talk about it all the time,
Right. Well, it's like I can look at it. I probably have read it 100 times, and I've never thought about like, how do I actually say this out loud? And now I'm feeling foolish. Let's talk about Decemberist albums, because they got a bunch too that I can't say out loud.
And not because they're dirty or anything.
It's right. I just have no idea how to say them. Picarex.
Exactly. No, I like this one is good. Maybe on the theme of myth and descriptive or not creative writing, but like word pictures and doing something with a metaphor. There are so many different ways to look at the biblical book of Revelation, and Garrels has taken his time here to go through and use a lot of those word pictures and metaphors. And I feel like, again, I'm not particularly religious today, but if I do get on board with some theology, it's usually in the liberation direction. The idea that there's something to be said about how the weak are given strength, and how the oppressed are liberated and given justice. And there's a lot about that in Revelation if you're willing to read it that way. It's just that it's not so plain because a lot of folks will read it very literally, or will try to make it apply to something that maybe it doesn't apply to, or invert its meaning in some way. And so just the fact that he's taken a lot of time here to jump into all of the imagery in that book, in that piece of writing, and not even necessarily to land somewhere, but I feel like his ponderance on the Revelation stuff, I think, lines up with kind of the rest of the things he's looking at, and from the essay and the vinyl that I've got here, if he's thinking about, like, is it possible to have a just war? Is there a war that can bring about good things? I feel like a lot of that, you're asking the question as you read Revelation as well. Can what's happening in all these word pictures lead to something good in the end? I think it's, without opining on my own personal opinions and everything, or unpacking that too much, I think that this song does a great job of handling a lot of that content.
That's some real good insight, Brock. I really like that.
Yeah. All right. I think the last song on our list to talk through is Pilot Me. Track 17, it's kind of the closing track, because then there's a little minute and 38 instrumental afterwards. And my note on this is it's a nice way to bring down the album. It's a wonderful little closing track. I think it's very charming. That's the word that comes to mind with that song. It feels very, I don't know, fun and joyous, but still very fitting for the record. And yeah, it's a very charming song is how I would describe it, which is a weird way to describe a song, but that's how I feel about it.
Did he write these lyrics, or is this another traditional? I was trying to remember. I don't have it in front of me. I got to check and see if I can find that.
Sorry if there's typing in the background.
Sorry if there's the rustling of album covers and slip covers. I can't find it on this packaging yet.
Well, there's a YouTube video of him doing it with mason jar music out on a cliff somewhere. Oh, I'll have to watch that.
And I've been hoping that someday, I love my physical media. I'd love to find a DVD copy of the documentary, because I remember enjoying it quite a bit, but I haven't found it, and I think it's maybe harder to find now.
In the credits, it says all songs are by him except Farther Along, White Owl, Ulysses, and Bread and Wine. I guess they're done with Mason Jar and him, so I'm guessing that it's kind of like a dual. I guess maybe he giving them credits since they probably helped arrange some of that or work on it.
Yeah,
So
maybe I just always assumed it was another tradition. It feels like it could be, but yeah. Well, he did a good job writing a song that sounds really standard. That's good. Standard in the best way, right? Like a standard.
Yeah. Well, I kind of wonder if he maybe just inspired by reading through, old text and hymns and so forth,
Well, it's really simple lyrics, right? It's, I will arise and follow you over, Savior, please pilot me over the waves and through every sorrow. Savior, please pilot me. When I have no more strength left to fall on my knees, pilot me. May your sun rise and lead me on over the seas. Savior, pilot me. Oh Lord. That's it. I mean, it's also just very simple. Oh man, I really like this song.
It almost sounds, so I'm in a Presbyterian church, and so we do a lot of responsive readings, and it almost feels like a liturgical responsive reading, where usually you have the priest or the pastor or whatever say, I'll arise and follow you over, and then the congregation would respond, Savior, please pilot me. It almost feels like, the Lord be with you and also with you, kind of a response. I really do like it. Yeah.
And it's a pretty song. The percussion is really cool at the end, and I don't know. There's a lot. I really love this album.
I'm really, playing this a lot this week now that we've gone over it.
Just the we're awash in metaphors, right? But the idea that a pilot, I was thinking of my context, and here in the Pacific Northwest, I don't know if he went to Astoria and watched ships come in from the ocean into the harbor, into the Columbia River, but it's pretty fraught. There's a lot of ways a ship can go down. from what I'm told, the mouth of the Columbia River in Oregon and Washington is one of the more dangerous ports or like passages from the sea to kind of inlands, almost anywhere in the world. And I'm not sure, I can't back them facts, but there's a whole industry of bar pilots who will come in. They know like where the sand is that day, where it's been, and they will take control of this big vessel and, you know, pilot it into the river so that it doesn't founder in the shallow water or wherever the sandbars are that day. And
That's cool.
yeah, you know, he spent a lot of time at the coast thinking about the ocean in general, but like that's, you know, that's what happens in my state and where, you know, ships come in and what's happening there. And I would imagine it happens in a lot of places where you need somebody else to show you the way and someone else to guide you so you don't go afoul. So yeah, I appreciate the metaphor greatly.
Yeah, and you know what? I totally have always thought of pilot me as a pilot, like an airplane pilot. And
Sure.
it
Well,
means so much more with the themes of a pilot of a ship and on the ocean. Man, alive. That's so much better than the way I've always kind of thought about it. That's great. I really like this album.
I'm glad we're talking about it.
Yeah, I'm glad we got to talk about this. This is what has happened a lot this year, where I'm like, yeah, I guess I'm excited to cover that, and then I listen to the album a lot leading up to the show, because about the week leading up to most shows, I listen to the album like almost every day, and then like so yeah, I really get it, and then I the last one we did, Strange Negotiations on by David Bazan, like
Which was a good one.
Oh my God. Like I was so just happy to talk to those guys. Like it was just like at the end of it, I was just like, I just kind of want to talk for another hour, guys. it's like, oh man, let's put out another record together.
I sing yellow and gold is a new day dawn, like a virgin unveiled who waited so long to dance and rejoice and to sing her song and to rest in the arms of a love so strong. No one comes unless they're drawn by the voice of desire that leads them along to the redemption of what went wrong, by the blood that covered the innocent one. No more separation between us.
So again, it's 15 years later. This record isn't ancient, but it's a record people may have missed or they haven't gone back to in a little bit. Maybe they didn't see Derek Webb talk about it 15 years ago and just missed it entirely. But what would you say to somebody about why this holds up or why this is something that is still important to you 15 years later?
I think just musically, it's a beautiful album. I guess like wherever you are, maybe in life, I think you could still sit down and just enjoy it as a whole. I think Caleb, you can probably talk me into it. You probably could put this on in the background if you really wanted to, even though I prefer to soak it in. But there's just a lot of depth and wisdom and comfort in a lot of the lyrics throughout the album, and some encouragement as well. Also, this is the first album I listened to by Josh Garrels. I did go backwards some, and then I've gotten, I think, everything since then. And even though I still love quite a bit of his material, nothing has just grabbed me as a whole like this one. So if you're going to get one, you can only afford one, or if you can only afford time to download one free album from Josh, this is the album you should go get, I think. It's a great starting point. And then, follow him however you'd like after that. But this is definitely worth your time.
Yeah. Brock, how about for you?
This is a great soundtrack for a lot of different things, but it's a great soundtrack for contemplating, the journey, the long journey from here to there, who we do it with, how we get there, and kind of what we're working against. I think that those are the broad themes that stick out to me as I listen to it. It's not like, I don't know that it hits you over the head with it. I think it's good. Even if you're not in a deeply ponderous mood, it's still very listenable. So either way, I'd say it's worth putting in your ears. And I think the kind of the organic nature or the self-produced, like the self-determined nature of it, it's not a commercial record. It's very independently made, by people with talent and people of quality. But one of the things that was mentioned in the documentary, they had a couple of spots where one of the guys, like the host on the Canadian islands where they sat in the Salish Sea, it was Main Island. Blaine Johnson is a guy. He's a guy who was not a person of faith, doesn't share Garrel's faith, but he describes the deindustrialization of the music industry as how he saw Garrels and the musicians, the Mason Jar people, working, just kind of basically not tearing it down necessarily, but like we're moving away from the cogs and the gears, and we're doing this on our own. And I think you get the sense for that as you listen to the album proper. You get the sense as you listen to the B-sides and the extra tracks and that sort of thing, and then like the Mason Jar re-recordings or reinterpretations as well.
And there's one other aspect of this that you can listen to, and which I love. I love when artists do this. You can go to his Bandcamp page, and he's got instrumental versions of almost all of his albums.
Yes, yeah.
And this is one of the best ones. This is a great... It feels very cinematic. It's a great one to listen to do the instrumentals. And I'm a sucker for an instrumental version of a record. This is a great one, and those are free as well on Bandcamp. And so there's a plug for that. I just think it's a record that does a lot of things. It's an artist taking an artistic big swing, and it lands really, really well for me. Again, 2011, I listened to this record a ton. Like this was... I'd be interested to go back and think about it, and it probably was my record of the year if I'm trying to think back to 2011. I need to look at my list and figure out where this falls on my favorite albums of all time and where it falls on 2011. But this was an album I listened to over and over and over again, and I think it has that re-listenability, even though it is an hour. And it's not going to be for everyone. I kind of get that when you get an album that's over an hour, but those albums usually lose me, but this one just doesn't. And I just think it's got enough things that he just nails. So I think it's totally worth checking out. It's an experience to be able to. It's a religious experience. At least a couple of moments on this record. So,
amen.
So lift your voice just one more time. If there's any hope, maybe a sign that everything was made to shine, despite what you can see. So take this bread and drink this wine, and hide your spirit in the vine, where all things work by good design for those who will believe and let go of all we cannot hold on to for the hope beyond.
That is it. That's our breakdown of Love and War and the Sea in Between by Josh Garrels. I probably have said it wrong and like 7 different ways. I'm such a moron. And we now know definitively it was released June 15th, 2011. We've got the email from from Noise Trade to back it up. So we feel very confident of that day, celebrating a 15-year anniversary. I know you guys are both online. That's where I met both of you. Jeremy, where can people find you online?
I'm on the various socials under JERLG. Just reach out if you want to chat.
Awesome. And then Brock, you're online as well, and you have a podcast which you're contractually obligated to mention, or Pete will find you.
That's correct.
He will
That
get
is
you.
correct.
Where can people find you online?
First and foremost, as mentioned, a pickle home companion. We have a dashery store. You can buy a pillow with my face on it. I'll say that in any number of different ways. So why would you not? But no, we talk about the music we grew up with and all kinds of other things, and a lot of BS besides, and we have a good time doing it. So we've found a group of people that feel similarly and are interested, and you could be one of them if you so choose.
Yeah.
Perhaps you have chosen. You can also find me on Instagram. I post pictures of pretty things outdoors on my feed, and I post album anniversaries in my stories.
Yeah, and you're more consistent than I am right now, so... Make sure to follow him, Brock.
Shucks.
I have fallen off the wagon, so
I'm thinking about ways to fall off myself.
yeah. I started doing this in 2023. So this is a solid 3 years of this now.
Hey, man, congratulations! Yeah,
Yeah,
here we are.
I can't keep up right now, but that's
You know what? It's the
more of a life
Odyssey.
thing.
The war has been fought, and now we're going to go home to the music collection that we love.
Yeah. I have so many things I want to say about social media right now, but awesome. Well, I'm glad you guys can be found. Please go check out A Pickle Home Companion. Find both these guys online. Thanks so much, guys, for hanging out. I'm glad this worked. I'm glad Josh wasn't able to make it onto the show. So we got to talk about this record. And if he does ever get back to me, we'll just have a bonus episode. So I'm glad we got this.
We'll do another one.
Yeah, I'll find time to talk to him. So awesome. Thanks so much, guys. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Together we will grow, making the most of life as we hold each other every day and night. Together we will grow, making the most of life as we hold each other close.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Album Anniversary Podcast. Thanks to Brock. Thanks to Jeremy for hanging out and talking about this record. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Super fun. You can find me on all the social medias. I'm there, Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, YouTube, and Patreon. Again, I have a Patreon for $2 a month. You get at least one extra show. June's going to be tough. I'll be totally honest. I'm struggling to get the June one in. I got to prioritize. But you can also email me, CalebTheSpypodcasts@gmail.com. Please subscribe, share the podcast, let other people know about it. Thanks so much for listening, everybody. We'll talk to you soon.
When I have no more string left to fall on my knees, pilot me.
Hold on, they're vacuuming upstairs. 1 second.
If it's any
So
consolation,
sorry.
I can't hear it.
I know, but my Audacity can,
Oh, right, because you're
I'm recording. So
a pro.
My wife's going to be on the podcast again. We'll see. It's loud too. I don't know what she's doing. It's so loud. I can't continue. Gosh. So sorry, guys.
It's all good.
No worries. Give me a chance
Please
to.
leave your message.
She's ignoring my calls. She'll see her phone and she'll be like, "Oh crap!" I know that's what she's gonna do. She's, two of our kids are gone, so we're down to just the two older kids, and I think one of them is gone too. So, I'm just gonna. I'll just text her. Vacuum, loud. All right.
It is nice to have a relationship that bears that sort of succinct communication.
I sent her a picture on our calendar recently. I was like, "This day I podcast." She's like, "Why didn't you just talk to me?" And I was like, "Well, I don't know." Took a picture of the calendar on our wall calendar, sent it to her. So before that, I don't know how this edit will work. There's songs in my life that I feel like are a religious experience themselves to partake in. A good example is the Talking Heads. Oh man, what's the song? Shoot. Hold on. I want to get it right. Song. It's not Psycho Killer. There's
Psycho Killer.
There, I threw myself off.
That's awesome.
A religious experience.
That is awesome.
This edit isn't gonna work. There. I'll just read the last little part. So lift your voice just one more time. If there's any hope, may it be a sign that everything was made to shine. Oh, let me try this again. I got to read it as good as Brock did now before. Otherwise, I'm going to look like an idiot.
Oh, jeez.
Boop. All right.
You know, one thing I
Brock.
didn't say that I should
yeah.
have was that
I won't stop
he's-
recording then.
he sounds like he should have a beard. I think he had a beard for a couple of years, but like early on he didn't have one, and now he doesn't have one. And I don't remember during. I think he might have just shaved when he did this record, and I remember being disappointed in the lack of beard because some voices just sound like they need one.
Yeah. He's always had the longer hair.
Yeah,
I feel like that's a look that he's always
Yeah.
had.
yeah.
A Google image search says no beards, really. Oh, there's one with a beard.
Few and far between, right? But I think, yeah,
He strikes me as really tall. I don't know
feel
if
like he
that's
must
true,
be.
but
I think
holy
he
cow.
is.
yeah.
I think he is. I mean, I didn't go stand next to him, but even watching him from the stage, he just looked like an extra 6 inches more than people. I don't know. Maybe he
Which is
wasn't.
hard
but
as a
it's just-
skateboarder, right? I mean, that's not an advantage if you're a skateboarder kid to be that tall,
true.
I think.
But it says he grew up skateboarding, not that he does now.
Right, that's a good point. Yeah.
Never
he
going to
looks-
be as big as Steve Taylor, right? Like,
Oh, here's a
Steve
picture
will
of him with
always
a
be
beard.
taller.
He's got some beard times out there. He does look
Yeah,
like he could
yeah,
dunk a basketball, though. That's the other thing. So,
So Brock or Caleb too, joshgarrels.com/store
Yeah.
DVD.
Oh, is it there? Okay, I was looking
Yep.
for it. I didn't.
And I
I
just-
was trying not to
Yeah.
detract from our conversation, but I was
No.
looking for it.
But I threw it in the email as well.
Thank you.
Of the Love and War
DVDs.
email
All right.
stream. Yeah, it's cheap, $15 for your
Nice.
DVD.
Well, hey, I'm
And if you want to get the skateboard for him, it's $90. There you go.
does he have
he's got
one?
a skateboard.
He has a skateboard, or at
It's
least
like
the deck.
MXPX territory. Yeah.
At least the deck, a skate deck.
Does he
So
have a
I guess
custom base too?
I don't know if he has that. Got
Okay.
stickers.
Yeah.
You can put stickers on your base.
Perfect.
Yeah, he
you know.
does have a skate deck. Well, that's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Oh, here we go. I
would
see it.
Well, he's got some
Be cool
buttons.
for
I like buttons.
decor, but I can't skate. I would kill myself. So,
No, my
But-
son took it up briefly, and it was a trip to the ER. Is all it really led to.
Oh,
whoa,
geez.
That
it
sounds.
was
really
scary.
bad.
It was really scary, actually. It was
It's enough reason not to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, well, I'm thankful. He was 15 at the time. I'm very, very thankful that he is a 15-year-old who didn't feel the need to be cool, and he wore his damn helmet because
Good.
That's great.
he took off down the path. We were at a soccer game for our youngest, and he was like, "Well, I'm gonna go skate down the path." He was just learning, and it was probably not a good decision because that path is like in a woods, so stuff falling off the trees.
Oh yeah.
It was not the place to do it, and he didn't know any better. And he's gone for about 15 minutes, and all of a sudden my phone is ringing, and it's him. It's like, "Hey, bud, what's up?" And he's like, "Dad, I don't know where I am." I was like, "What?" He's like, "I think I fell on my skateboard. I'm
Oh,
bleeding.
jeez. Oof.
I don't know where I am, Dad." And so I take
boy.
off down the path. Now, luckily, it was a path that had no exits. Like, it was just a straight path to a road.
Yeah.
So he couldn't, like, loop into, like, a park trail and be, like,
Yeah.
I cannot really run. Again, I've talked about my feet problems. I'm chucking it down this. I finally get to him, and he is covered in blood. Like, he
Oof.
is... And he looks up at me, and he just bursts into tears. And I'm like, "Do you remember calling me?" And he's like, "No." It's like, "I don't remember calling you."
Wow.
Now, luckily, I've been through this. My dad went through this exact same thing. He fell off a bike when I was in my 20s. And we showed up, and the bike helmet was smashed into a million pieces, and he's bleeding from everywhere. The bike is totaled, and my mom just bursts into tears, and he looks up at me, and he goes, "How did you know I was here?" It's like, "Dad, I just talked to you 5 minutes ago." And
Wow.
the whole way to the hospital, my dad just kept on going, "Where's my bike?" "It's in the back, Dad." "Where are my glasses?" "They were destroyed, Dad." "Where's my bike?" "It's in the back, Dad." And my mom's just fighting back tears because she's like, "I'm going to be caring for a vegetable the rest of his life." I mean, where's Bethany? That's my sister. "Where's Bethany?" "She's at work, Dad." He gets there. In the end, it was just a concussion, but my son's doing the exact same thing. He's like, "How did you know I was here? Where's the skateboard? What happened to my helmet?" And then we got into the car and we're driving to the ER, and same thing. He's just going through the same questions, and it was scary, but about 6 hours in, he started to remember. I fell off my skateboard, didn't I? Were we at Steve Machad Park? That's the park we were at. It's like, yeah. But he still has a 5-hour memory, 5-hour block that he cannot remember to this day. He remembers going off down the path, and he remembers leaving the hospital, and everything in between is just nothing. So, so yeah. So he hasn't gone back to it a lot, but so yeah, I'm just thankful he was wearing his helmet, because if he wouldn't have been wearing his helmet, Lord knows what would have happened to him. But I'm glad he was, and
yeah, that's great. I'm glad he did.
So yeah. And the other thing I would say is, if you see Kid, because there were people I ran by who had clearly seen him and just had walked by him.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, there was a ton of people. And I was just like,
come on, people.
Even if you talk to him and he's like, I'm okay, just walk up the path a little and just kind of stop.
Just check.
And just find an excuse to look. We're looking at the beautiful birds. Until an adult finds him, you don't leave. Just hang on until until he's clearly with a parent. Because I walk by a lot of people who just clearly, and I'm sure if they asked him, "Do you need help?" he said, I'm fine. Because I'm sure he was terrified.
Right.
But yeah, even if he's a tall kid, he's taller than me. He was taller than me at the time. But so anyway, there's my skateboard story. Oh, let's see if that makes it in the outro. Because anyway, all right, I'm gonna stop recording.
Is this where the disclaimer comes in for Jeremy with the whole, all views expressed do not necessarily represent when we talk about what is and is not the South?
That's what we're gonna argue about the South. What is the South?
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna make a comment about it makes you think of the sea like Texas does, and I'm like, I wonder if you're the further, even though I'm in the you're the farthest from the sea probably, because Texas is so big. It's like, I don't know how close you are to the ocean.
Golf, we'd be like, how hours is that? 5 hours maybe?
Okay.
6, 5 or 6. They'll be going straight down to Galveston. So it's not, I don't think of the Gulf as ocean at all.
Oh, okay.
I always forget about this. Yeah.
It's not, it's just turned up sandy, dirty looking water most of the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
It's not the sea in between.
Yeah. No, it is not the sea in between. It is the dirty Gulf in between or something. I don't know. And if you want to go to water, you don't want to go to Galveston. Just don't do it.
I guess I haven't thought much about that it isn't like the ocean experience like you get on the coasts, is it?
Not to my knowledge, because I've gone to Destin, Florida, and even though I don't know where the Gulf starts and ends from a map standpoint, but even though Destin is kind of in the not in the long part of Florida, it's up in the flat part closer to Alabama. When I was there on their beaches, that felt more like ocean. The Gulf, like Texas Gulf, does not feel like that at all. Totally different experience.
Yeah. The West Coast or the eastern side, I wonder if it has similar dynamics to the Pacific with that. Because the Atlantic is shallower. This is all stuff you can't use, Caleb. We're way off topic now.
Gulf geography. This is a weird turn.
Yeah.
The sea in between.
The sea in between for sure. I've been to the Gulf on Florida, up north there. My parents go there every year. And that I think that feels very oceany. But again, I'm from Minnesota. We go up to Lake Superior, and that feels oceany to me, to be honest. So what was that one, Brock?
Get it?
The Third Coast.
The Third Coast, yeah.
The Third Coast, yeah.
I'm no coast. I can't go underwater. No coast. I can't go swimming. I can't go. I got all sorts of problems. I can't stand for a long time. I can't swim. I can't put my head underwater because of my ear problems. I can't see at night. I'm a mess. So, all right.
You, Caleb.
Yeah, I'm.
You can do it.
Barely functional.